Welcome to English StoryCafe. Today we will explore Master Your Body Language. This is not a story about how to perfect your posture or your handshake, though those are important, of course. This is a story about language, about learning English, and how every single part of you, not just your mouth and your mind, plays a crucial role in that journey. For many of us, the hardest part of learning a new language isn't the grammar rules. It's the sheer terror of opening your mouth and sounding, well, wrong. We study diligently, memorize vocabulary. We can even pass the written exams with flying colors. But the moment we are face to face with a native speaker, our vocabulary flees, our carefully constructed sentences crumble, and we resort to an embarrassed silence. I remember my own struggles when I first moved to London. I had studied English for years. I knew the difference between the past perfect continuous and the present simple. I could read Shakespeare, or at least a simplified version. But ordering a simple cup of tea felt like trying to defuse a bomb with only a spoon. I would rehearse the sentence in my head a dozen times. I would like a cup of Earl Grey, please. But when the barista smiled at me, all I could manage was a strained, high-pitched, "Tea! Hot!" Then I'd hunch my shoulders, look at the floor, and wait for the transaction to be over. My words were rudimentary, but my body was screaming a much clearer message. I am afraid, please do not judge me. And that, my friends, is the heart of what we need to talk about today. Language is not just sound. It is a performance. It is a complete communication package where your words might account for only a small percentage of the total message received. Your confidence, your intention, and your fluency are all expressed through your physical presence. Think about it. When you see someone speaking English with ease, what do you notice first? It's rarely the perfect use of an idiom. It's the way they hold their head, the way they meet your eye, the way they use their hands to emphasize a point. They are taking up space. They are owning the conversation. This is the secret weapon for the English learner, using your body to lie to your brain about how nervous you are. And the most effective lie you can tell is to adopt the posture of a confident speaker, even if inside you're a churning mess of anxiety. Let's break down how to actually use your body language to boost your English fluency. This isn't about cultural norms. It's about projecting confidence, which is universally appealing. First, there is the simple act of standing tall. When you slouch, you restrict your diaphragm, which makes your voice sound weaker and breathier. A weak voice, in turn, makes you feel less certain of what you are saying, creating a negative feedback loop. When you stand up straight or sit upright, you open up your chest, allowing you to breathe deeply. This naturally lowers your vocal pitch slightly and gives your voice a richer, more grounded resonance. A grounded voice sounds authoritative, and when you sound authoritative, you start to feel more authoritative. Try it right now, wherever you are. Slouch slightly and say a simple sentence in English, like, "I am learning a new language." Now, sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, and say it again. Notice the difference. It's subtle, but profound. Second, we must tackle eye contact. In many cultures, direct eye contact can be considered aggressive or impolite, but in English-speaking cultures, especially in professional or casual conversation settings, avoiding eye contact is often misinterpreted as evasion, lack of interest, or, crucially for the language learner, a lack of confidence in what you are saying. You don't need to stare intensely, of course. That can be creepy. But aim to meet the listener's eye for 3 to 5 seconds at a time. This simple action signals several things. I am engaged. I believe in what I am saying. I am comfortable here. And if you can project comfort, the listener will be more relaxed, more patient, and more receptive to your spoken words, even if those words are imperfect. Third, We have the power of the hands. It is very common for people learning a new language to keep their hands hidden, in their pockets, clasped behind their back, or tightly holding a handbag or notebook. This is a protective, self-soothing gesture. However, when we speak, especially when we are reaching for a word that we can't quite grasp, gesturing with our hands can act as a crucial crutch. Psychologists suggest that gesturing actually helps us retrieve words from our memory. It literally helps the brain articulate. So, if you are fumbling for the right adjective, don't freeze up. Use your hands to describe the shape, the size, or the direction of the idea you are trying to express. Use them to show you are thinking. This not only aids your own cognitive function, but it also gives the listeners something to focus on besides your momentary stutter. It keeps the energy of the conversation moving forward. Fourth, and this is perhaps the most important for the language learner, is the smile. Now, I'm not suggesting a forced, frozen grimace. I mean a genuine, soft smile that signals warmth and openness. In a high-stakes conversation, your brain is treating the interaction like a threat. The smile is your way of signaling to the listener, and more importantly to your own nervous system, that you are friendly, you are open to interaction, and you are not a threat. A smile disarms both parties. It creates a space of grace where a minor grammatical error is instantly forgiven because your overall intention, to connect, is clear and inviting. When I started making the conscious effort to smile, I noticed that people would repeat my sentences back to me with the correct word order or pronunciation, gently correcting me as part of the flow of conversation, instead of just staring blankly. They were willing to work with me. So, how do you integrate this physical awareness into your English homework? You treat your body language as a part of your English homework. Start with what I call mirror fluency practice. Stand in front of a mirror and practice introducing yourself in English. Don't worry about the content of your words at first. Focus purely on your posture, your eye contact with your reflection, and the slight encouraging curve of a smile on your face. Practice using your hands to illustrate simple ideas. You are not practicing an accent, you are practicing presence. Next, try the power pause. When you feel that moment of panic in a real conversation, the moment you realize you don't know the word, don't fill the space with or Instead, stand tall, maintain eye contact, and take a single, deep, slow breath. This is the power pause. It tells the listener, I am taking a moment to choose the right word. It projects deliberation, not desperation. This brief intentional silence is far more powerful and confident than a nervous string of filler sounds. It gives your brain the 37th of a second it needs to find that elusive vocabulary word. Finally, we must talk about the power of imitation. When you watch English films, television shows, or even YouTube videos, don't just focus on the dialogue. Watch how the fluent speakers use their bodies. Watch how they shrug, how they nod, how they gesture when they are excited or confused. Try to imitate their movements as much as their sounds. When you physically inhabit the persona of a fluent speaker, the words will follow more easily. You are essentially tricking your brain into feeling comfortable in the language. The journey of learning English is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's filled with moments of frustration, confusion, and fear. But let me leave you with this thought. Your words will always be a work in progress. Your vocabulary will always be expanding. Your grammar will always be something you can refine. But your confidence, the signal that you are a person worth listening to, regardless of your fluency level, that can be mastered today. You have the power to project a powerful, capable speaker simply by changing the way you stand, the way you look at the person you are talking to, and the way you allow your hands to tell part of the story. The next time you prepare to speak English, take a moment. Stand tall, lift your chin, put a little openness in your eyes, and remember that the person on the receiving end is not grading your performance. They are simply waiting for you to connect. And connection starts not with perfect syntax, but with open, inviting body language. So, go out there, embrace your mistakes, and let your body lead the way to confidence. Master your presence, and your English will naturally follow. Thank you for joining me on English Story Cafe. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep moving forward with confidence.